Hey, what's up everybody? How's it going today? So I got a chance to check out another Netflix movie that just came out called 1-2 Jaga. And it's kind of a short movie and it's also set in Malaysia. And as far as crime thrillers generally go, this isn't a bad little movie. But it's not perfect and I definitely had trouble latching onto a few things about the movie. And as far as the plot goes, there isn't necessarily one narrative through line per se. It's essentially just a series of events told through several different groups of people. And each one of those groups kind of bobs and weaves in and out of each other's storylines. But it's kind of a thematic piece that involves corruption and also with illegal immigration and just kind of the push and pull between those with and those without power. Some of the groups in the movie involve two police officers, and then there's a father and a son who both work for the same guy. Then that businessman has a son, and there's also a crime lord in there somewhere. And there's a couple other groups, but basically what I'm getting at is there is no one central character, which I personally was kind of comfortable with because you don't really see that too often. Although, on the flip side though, there is a duo of characters that really don't serve that much of a point to the overall story, in my opinion. To me, they kind of represented the aspect of some things that can result from corruption and crime and all that other stuff, but some of the other stories were a lot more personal and therefore much more effective. So it was just that one storyline just felt kind of redundant by the end of the film. And the movie did a little bit of that thing where it kind of expected you to care about some characters without fully giving them a backstory. The characters were interesting and everything that they did in the film was pretty interesting for the most part, except the one group that I mentioned. But the movie didn't really give you a super amount of leeway to kind of like get to know them. But that also could play into the fact that this is more of a thematic piece rather than a character-driven piece. But either way, the only other negative that I have about the movie is that there's a slight aspect that happens at the very ass end of the movie. I won't give away what it is, but the way that it was conveyed could have been done a little bit more specifically so that you would understand a little bit better what was going on. Because I saw the ending and I had to rewind it 2 or 3 times to figure out exactly what was happening because it wasn't very explicit in what like the outcome of it was. But besides those things, it was actually a pretty decent little movie. The movie had a really good attention grabber as the opening scene, and the movie I felt like did a really good job of conveying that there's a lot of like gray area in reference to good versus evil. Like some people are on the good side but with a caveat, and then there's some people that are bad but they also have a good side. Basically what I'm saying is it did a good job conveying that the world isn't black and white. I also thought the movie did a pretty good job at creating immediate tension for whatever particular scene you were in. And early on in the movie, they did a good job like waiting to reveal a certain thing about what was happening until like the very end of that segment, and then you're like, oh shit, that's what this scene is about. The music was pretty alright, and after I had to, go back and rewatch the ending a couple times, I actually do kind of enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I would say I did have a good experience with the movie, but I feel like it didn't delve quite deep enough. Whether it be with the characters or maybe because it didn't have a specific narrative through line. And aside from the ending, I thought it was a pretty decently directed movie. But anyway, for an overall score out of 10, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.4. Overall, it was a cool concept, and I like when there's a lot of interwoven stories delved into one film. Pulp Fiction, I'm looking at you. But maybe with a little bit more work, it probably could have been a little more proficient of a film. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen this movie? Have you heard of it? Hop in the comments. Let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this review, give me a like, subscribe to all that other bullshit that makes the channel look good, and I'll catch you guys later.